What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about when you should consider moving on from one of your side projects and potentially starting a new one. So right off the bat, I'm going to be kind of talking specifically about the Travel Treasury app and how I'm going to be transitioning from working on that to working on a newer project. And this video is really going to give you the reasoning behind it and potentially show you, if you're kind of in the same position as me, it might be a good idea to move on to a new side project as well. So the first thing you should think about is the reasoning you started your side project to begin with. So for me, with the Travel Treasury app, the reason I started this app and YouTube channel was mainly to show people that they can build an app as well. The YouTube channel actually grew down a different path than I was expecting it to. I wasn't planning on it being really a Flutter channel and code specific, but I kind of embraced that halfway through and then kept running with it. There are still plans for that to expand more into the more broad startup app development plan that includes more of the marketing side and design side of stuff as well. But the core of the app, Travel Treasury, the core of that was always just to show people that they can build an app and they can get it on the App Store. So for me, the answer to the question of why I started this app, Travel Treasury, is not because I was super motivated to build this actual app and to solve an actual problem that this app is solving. I was more motivated by learning Flutter and also showing people that they could also easily learn Flutter. And so that's a big distinction there, and that's actually an important distinction. So the second thing you should be asking yourself is, can you still make an impact with the project that you're working on? And is that impact bigger than another potential impact with another opportunity? So to dig into that a little bit more, if I were to focus on Travel Treasury and continue building that out, I can definitely still make an impact there, and I could get that app to be much more feature rich and robust and potentially solve an actual user's problem. So there is definitely potential and there is opportunity to continue working on the app. The other side of that is there are other opportunities to build other apps or learn other features that kind of don't really fit in necessarily to that app idea. So it's kind of weighing those different situations there and then deciding which one you really want to focus your time on. One thing I would say when giving up on an app is I like to kind of see it through to a point where you can pause on it and then kind of put it to the side and go work on other stuff, and then you come back to the app. So thinking about Travel Treasury, I pretty much got that to a point where it's deployed and it's functioning at a very basic level, but it is usable, it's out there, it's working, there's something there. There's something to come back to. It's not a completely dead project. So this is something you should be strongly considering if you're at a point in your app where it kind of is a nice spot to pause at, or it is kind of at a point where it can be doing its own thing and you could walk away and kind of come back to it later, then that's kind of a good break point where you can go do other things. I will say though, you should not give up on your app if you're very close to some deploy stage or some milestone that will get you to a next level of your project. And really that last part there where you're trying to get to that point is normally the hardest, and it is the hardest to kind of push through and figure out all those things, because there's a lot to get done to actually get the app live. If we're talking about an app or whatever your project is, to get it actually live, there are a lot of things that you don't consider in the beginning, and then when you get to that point you kind of almost just feel like giving up because there's all these extra things and you're like, well, is it even worth it? I would say yes, it's definitely worth it, and you should definitely get all that stuff done and get your app to a point where it can be on the App Store, and then you can kind of move on to another thing. Another thing that you should be asking yourself is, what did you learn from this project? So you might be thinking, okay, this was a whole failure. This app I made and no one's really downloading it. It doesn't really have the features I wanted. It's not designed the way I wanted it to be. But what did I learn from that? And if you learned anything from that process, when you go to start the second app or the third app, you're going to have a better understanding of what is to come, and then you can use that information to kind of speed up the process of the next app and also make the next one much better. So even if you didn't get your app deployed or to some milestone where it is doing something and you can step away and go do other stuff, you still could get benefit if you learned anything from it. So maybe you built out just the authentication for your app, and now you're kind of like done with that idea, but now you learned how to do authentication and you can go plug that in to your next app. you want to make sure you're not giving up for the wrong reasons. You don't want to just give up because you're tired of building it, or it's gotten a bit harder, or there's things you don't know how to do. That's not a good reason to give up on a project, or that's not a good reason to give up on a project at all. You want to be giving up on a project when you see that it's kind of come to an end, or you don't see a huge future for it, and you're more excited about starting a new project, or you have another idea that you want to be working on. So that is kind of where I am at right now. The Travel Treasury app has become a bit less exciting for me, and there's other things I want to do. I am planning to do a couple more videos like this where I'm going to kind of talk a little bit more in depth of what I did learn in that experience of building out that first Flutter app, and kind of what I would do differently in my next Flutter app. And then I will be doing probably a whole new series of building a new app. And in terms of the YouTube channel, I think it is a nice opportunity to start a new app now versus kind of continuing to build the Travel Treasury app, because with Flutter 2, there's a few changes, and to go back and make all these videos about refactoring the code and kind of re-showing stuff like that kind of doesn't really make sense. I'll probably be doing more specific videos of newer topics within a newer app, and potentially just doing some standalone videos of just a topic, and then it's not part of a full app. But I myself will still be building out apps, and I'll still be sharing as much information as possible, or any information I think that can be valuable to anyone else. But let me know down in the comments what kind of content you would like to see. Do you want to see more Flutter content? Do you want to see a whole nother full build out, like the Travel Treasury experience, where we start from the idea phase and kind of just come up with an app idea and build it all the way out and get it deployed? Or, I mean, are you most interested in building out features on top of the current existing app? Yeah, so let me know what kind of content you're most interested in seeing. Also, we have the Discord server now, so you can go check that out and ask questions there or request videos there. All right, that's going to be it for this video. Ciao for now. If you'd like to get a free download of this screenshot template, you can head on over to newsletter.onemanstartup.com and get the free download now. All right, one quick thing before we go. If you haven't already gotten a custom domain name for your app or project, head on over to Namecheap, and you can get some really good deals right now on all the products they offer, especially domain names. You can see their domains right now are up to 95% off. If you're interested in a .com, you get it for less than $7 a year, as well as all these other offers that they have. Getting that custom domain or custom hosting is very easy through Namecheap. It's always what I use. So use the link down below. It helps support the channel.